Hello. When you chased down 353, what was the model like? In what way did you decide to chase?
I think that India bowled really well with the new ball. I thought if we could have some wickets in hand and some in batters towards the back end of the innings, we could potentially do some damage. But we probably just kept losing wickets when we're trying to up the run rate, and then, as you know, when new batters come in, and the run rate creeps up slowly. So when it gets to 10, 12 and over, it creeps up pretty quickly as well. So maybe a couple too many runs to chase, but also I felt as though we're in a decent position as we're moving along. We just lost wickets at the key times.
Finchy, when looking
Hello, mate.
Hey, how are you? When looking back at India's batting, particularly the first 10 overs, what do you think was done differently by the Indian batsmen to counter Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins in the first 10?
Yeah, I think that they took their time, obviously, and they assessed the conditions really quickly and probably identified that they were going to be the two hardest or the two biggest threats early on in the innings, and it felt as though they swallowed their pride and really pulled back a gear and made sure that they got through them first 10 overs. And when you've got world-class players in on good wickets, and you've got 10 wickets in hand, you can start to up the ante a bit earlier. So I think the not getting wickets early on was probably key there to have them guys batting deep into the innings. That just gives them so many options where they can shuffle Pandya up the order and Dhoni. So I think that they played it really well and probably negated our biggest threats early on.
Just following on from that, Finchy, over here. Coulson, he went for some runs in his second over, but he came back well in his other spells. Is he sort of safe at that first change, or do you consider changes perhaps heading into Pakistan?
Yeah, you look at all scenarios, all team makeups, especially for the opposition, and being a World Cup and you're playing a different side every game, you have to keep reassessing the best combination for each game, and I think that going into Pakistan, we'll have a look at it again, no doubt, which we have been every game, and we felt as though that was the right combination today. So that's just one of those things that comes down to matchups with the opposition.
Aaron, David scored slower than we're used to seeing against Afghanistan, and then here today, I think there was 2 slowest ODI half centuries. Is that due to conditions, or is it a new approach that you've seen from him since he's come back into the team? Oh,
they bowled really well to him early, and I think particularly playing on a used wicket again for our second time in 3 games was played a little bit of a part in that. Their spinners probably had a bigger impact than what ours did. Well, they did have a bigger impact than what our spinners did through their middle overs in particular, where the ball was just starting to hold up. But it hasn't been a plan, a team plan or an individual plan from Davey. I think that they bowled really well early. They bowled nice and straight, back of a length where the ball was just skidding quite low to start with. So just didn't, and to myself as well, they just didn't give us any width to get away or any length to really work with either over the top or get a drive away. So their bowling plans were pretty simple but really effective on a wicket like that.
Aaron, I know it's unlikely you'd be one for excuses, but I mean, you had to play your 3rd game of the World Cup a few days after a tough second game. India had the delayed start, only playing their second game today. I mean, how much of an impact do you think that has? What do you make of that?
No, I don't think it makes any difference, to be honest. I actually like playing games quite quickly, particularly when you get on a bit of a roll in a tournament. You can, before you know it, you can be 3 or 4 wins really quickly. And on the other side, if you start off poorly in that quick run of games, but before you know it, you can be 3 or 4 losses as well. So I think it's really important that whichever way you start off, and we started off really well in the tournament with a couple of wins, it's just a small hiccup. The scheduling has no bearing on that whatsoever. I think everyone was fresh, everyone 100% fit, available for selection and available to play. So absolutely, I like how the schedule's gone so far, personally.
Aaron, yeah. Just want to know that how differently you think the Indians played. Adam Zampa, you were forced not to complete his quota of overs. So, what differently did Indians do compared to the series in India? And also, there was some controversy regarding some pictures came out in Twitter about that he put his hand in the pocket and there were some allegations that he was using something external. So could you just clarify? There was some buzz on Twitter and some photos were doing rounds. So if you could just clarify that part also.
I haven't seen the photos, but I know that he has hand warmers in his pocket. He has them every single game he plays. So I honestly haven't seen them, so I can't comment too much on it. But I know for a fact that he has hand warmers every game. And I think he just started his spell poorly today, which gave them an opportunity to get on top of him. And when you're bowling to world-class players and they get on top of you early, it can be quite hard to come back. And for us not to be able to get wickets through that period as well, through that middle overs, he never had the chance to really bowl at a new batter a hell of a lot, which probably was the difference in the Indian series where we managed to get some wickets up front and there'd be an opportunity that he could really go to work on a new batter. So today that just didn't happen. And as a leg spinner, it's an incredibly tough craft. It's the hardest thing to do in the game. So you can forgive him for not having his best day out once every now and then. He's been exceptional for us for quite a long time now, since he's come back into the side. So, yeah, I'm not concerned about that.
Aaron, was Steve coming out to bat before Usman today? Was that purely a left-right hand kind of thing? And is it the kind of thing we might see continue?
Yeah, everyone's aware that we can chop and change, and depending on conditions, and there was a really strong breeze going one way on the ground, and also with their spin combinations, it was important that we had the availability for left and right as well, so we could keep attacking. There's not a real lot of time to be playing out too many overs and waiting for your opportunity on chasing a total like that. So yeah, that could happen a bit more often, and especially on a surface like that started to really slow up and spin quite a bit.
Yeah, Aaron, I just wanted to ask about, you alluded to the used pitch more than once, so did it play as the way you expected it to, or was it better than expected?
No, I played how we expected. Like I said at the toss, we would have batted first. We felt as though I was going to slow up and turn a little bit more as the game went on, so we were absolutely prepared for that. We probably just let them get a few too many runs, and like I said before, when you're chasing a total, a lot of things have to go right. You have to have an in batter go really deep, and a few cameos around that player as well. And we just kept losing wickets at crucial times, unfortunately.
There was another case of the ball hitting the stumps and the bail's not coming off. I think that's 5 times in the tournament. Is that becoming a bit of an issue for you?
Yeah, I think so. It wasn't. We're on the right end of it today, but I think going forward, you want. It's a bit unfair at times, isn't it? And I know Davey was it hit the stumps pretty hard, but it does seem to be happening more and more, which is unfortunate. But because you'd hate to see something like that happen in a World Cup final or a semi-final or something like that. You've done the hard work as a bowler or a fielding side to set a player up or get the mistake and it not be rewarded. So maybe something, but I'm not sure what you can do. I don't know how much lighter they can make the bails.
Considering the nature of the surfaces like this, could you face more of this? Having Coulter-Nile and Stoin is in that tag a bit of a problem in the way that they bowl. Would you be looking at some other options for Coulter-Nile?
Yeah, like I said before, we'll assess every option, which we do for each game. We know Pakistan's going to have quite a few left-handers in their side, but you don't know. It's hard to comment on it until you see the wicket, and there hasn't been a huge amount of games at Taunton to be able to get a read on what the wicket's going to look like either. So you assess every option, every game.
Finchy, just in terms of your run out, mate, was it a mix-up or was there a hesitation from yourself? You were pretty frustrated to get out.
I'm frustrated every run out.
But was it a mix-up or?
Yeah, a bit of a mix-up. Yeah, that was both our faults, to be fair. Just one of those things that happens. There's 10 ways to get out, and that's the worst one of them all.
The crowd, were you surprised at how few Australians there seemed to be in there, and how imposing was that atmosphere?
No, I wasn't surprised. India have amazing support everywhere that they go around the world. Their fans are very vocal. They're great to play in front of because they provide so much atmosphere. They're passionate about the game, and being on the other side of it, it's not ideal. But at the end of the day, no matter where you play, you can play in Melbourne, you can play in Hobart. They're always going to outnumber you. They are so loud, and they're a happy crowd. They appreciate good cricket. Obviously, they're there to watch India do well, but they appreciate really good cricket. And when they're playing their music and chants are going up, it's a pretty great atmosphere to be a part of when you win.